A very good evening to everyone logged on to the July edition of our membership forum. Membership retention is your bucket leaking. As DTM Maureen, in her article which is on the TMI site, titled Membership Retention, talks about a metaphor called the leaky bucket. Now, this metaphor depicts a business losing its customers. A leaky bucket is a theory that talks about businesses losing its customers. Now, for a business to survive, it must either stop the leakage, which means it must keep its existing customers, or it must add more water, that is, new customers, at the rate that is equal or greater than the rate of the leak. So now this metaphor, of course, applies not only to the business world, but also to us Toastmasters. Now, this explains why all of us are logged into Zoom today. On a Sunday night, we are here instead of spending our time elsewhere. So without further ado, let me hand over control to our Club Growth Director for the year 2020-2021, DTM Nisa Virakon, to give you a comprehensive introduction to our session today. DTM Nisa, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hasini. As you said in the beginning, membership retention is a huge topic, but most of the time we don't talk about this topic. And some of us talk about it, but we don't get the opportunity to talk in a large forum. Now, when it comes to membership related questions, most of us have a lot of questions to ask. Most of us have questions and some of us have answers, but we never got this opportunity or the platform to talk about membership related questions. So membership forum is an opportunity for all of us who are in our clubs to come together and talk about the membership related concerns, questions, and find solutions for all these things. So this year we are planning to conduct membership forum every month with a different title for each month. Now this month we are focusing on basically the membership retention, and going forward we have planned for a lot of other interesting topics as well. So that is the overall idea of membership forum. Today I'm happy to say that we have 150 plus registrations for this event. This is our first membership forum for the year. So we are so excited to share details about membership retention and talk about all the retention related questions. So with that, I would like to hand over controls back to you. Over to you, Hasan.
Thank you, DTM Nisa. I think that gave all our viewers a very comprehensive understanding about what membership is all about, and I'm sure they're looking forward to our next membership forum already. So we have with us today three eminent panelists who definitely don't need an introduction. So as members being part of the Club Growth and working as Club Retention Chairs, we have, of course, our Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Nisa, and to accompany Distinguished Toastmaster Nisa, we have with us Distinguished Toastmaster Said and Distinguished Toastmaster Modita with us today. So without further ado, let me move on to our very first burning question for this evening. Now, this question I would like to direct to our Club Growth Director, DTM Nisa. Now, DTM Nisa, do you believe that we as Toastmasters ask the appropriate questions from all these new members who join our club meeting as guests? Asking this question because we are going to start from the very beginning, the very starting point where a guest walks into a meeting. Do you think that what we ask them really motivates these guests to obtain membership at clubs? What's your view on this?
Well, if I give a direct answer, it would be we are not asking the correct questions when a potential guest tries to join a Toastmasters club. Now, guest comes to Toastmasters meeting, they feel the wow factor in our clubs. They see that they can learn something from the club, but they don't have that clear idea sometimes that what they really want. Some of us come for our Toastmasters meeting to build their public speaking skills. Some of us come for leadership skills, development, and some of us come Toastmasters to attend to build our networking. So sometimes we don't really ask the correct questions, but members just come for the wow factor of the club, and they join the club, and down the line they move on and they continue with the club, but they have set of expectation what they were expecting when they joined the club, but down the line they realize that it's not getting, they are not getting that from the club. So sometimes because of that, members tend to leave. Now, how can we stop this? One of the easiest approach what we can do is, when a guest says that they want to join a Toastmasters club, maybe VP membership or someone from the executive committee, or you can call one of your senior Toastmasters who has experience in Toastmasters to join with you and go and have a small chat with these potential guests. Ask them why they really want to join Toastmasters. What are they trying to gain from Toastmasters? And try to understand what's the objective that they want to achieve, or the goal they want to achieve from Toastmasters. So as a club, if you really identify that goal of that potential member, it is easy for the club to serve that member as well. And when they see that their goal is getting achieved from the club when they join, I'm sure that they will continue in the Toastmasters journey. Now, another simple, effective way is, when a new member joins or a potential guest join as a new member, always try to conduct the member interest survey, because that is an easy way of understanding the needs of the member. So in summary, to conclude my answer to that direct question, are we asking the correct questions when a new member joins? I think we don't ask, but I recommend everyone to ask these questions and try to understand the objectives these potential guests want to achieve. So that would be my answer for the first question.
Right. Fantastic, DTM Nisal. I think that was pretty much the answer I was expecting, because that covers basically the root cause that creates all the problems and results in members not joining or not joining the club as a member. Now, my next question would be, can a club completely stop a leak? Now, this question I would really like to direct towards my DTM saying. Of course, it's sort of obvious that a club can't completely stop a leak, but of course it can be slowed down in order to maybe trickle. Now, we see many members leaving the club, sometimes just a couple of months into joining a club. So, DTM State, what do you perceive as the main reason for this?
Thank you, Hashini, for that question. And there are many factors why a member leaves a club. But let me take one aspect which I strongly believe is on the mentoring. Now, if I go on elaborate on why I believe mentoring is a main factor, most of the new members, they join the club for various reasons, like our club growth director said. It may be for communication, it may be for leadership, it may be for networking. Don't worry what the reason is, but the thing is, when a new member joins, most of them are kind of lost whether they are at the right place, whether they can, what they can expect from Toastmasters. All those of questions just pop in. If you assign a proper mentor, I think in that way you can tackle the problem of that member getting confused between why he joined and what are the things he can get out of Toastmasters. Eventually, the mentor can mentor him to become that good quality member he wants to be. Now, remember, like an evaluator can make or break a speaker, I believe that a mentor can make or break a quality member. So my approach, what I suggest would be, number one, if there is a new member who has joined, immediately assign a mentor from the club. Have a mentor pool. We will talk lengthy about the mentor-mentee program in this session a little later. But for this question, what I would say is have a mentor pool, and out of that pool, immediately when a member joins in, assign him a mentor who knows about the basics, who has completed the basics on pathways or leadership or communication, and then that mentor can guide the new member with all sorts of questions he has at the beginning. If there is an existing member, don't neglect them saying that they are in so many years in Toastmasters, they know everything. Try to assign a mentor to them as well. Not necessary that we have to find mentors from our own club. Sometimes there are new clubs who struggle to get mentors. So always reach out to your area, to the division, maybe in the district, get someone who is qualified enough to mentor. Let me put it as a senior Toastmaster, and get your existing members also mentored. In that way, I believe you can take some action to stop members leaving, new members as well as the existing members leaving the fraternity. Let me tell you a very quick example on how I benefited as a member, purely because of mentors. When I joined, when our club was chartered, I joined at the 5th meeting to Expo Lanka Toastmasters Club. I got a mentor from the same club. My first mentor was Serena Rex, who mentored me in communication and who helped me to write speeches. So it was a great thing that I knew that I can improve, because I had a support. I had someone who can help me in doing speeches or giving speeches. Even in contesting, I knew that there is someone to help me. Gradually, I took another mentor. DTM Ajanta Jayawardhan, I can remember, was my first leadership mentor. I broke it down to communication. For speeches, I will go to DTM Serena. For leadership, I will go to DTM Ajanta at that time. And he actually took me to Sabaragamuwa University for a speech craft, where when I did not know anything about Toastmasters, but that action took me to learn more, and it made me to stay inside Toastmasters. After that, when I gradually moved up on the ladder, I decided to have different mentors time to time. And currently now I have a totally different mentor who can help me at this level. So it's not necessary that you need to stick to the same person. Even time to time you can change mentors. Existing members can take mentors from outside your club, and your new members can get your club members as mentors. In this way, I think you can tackle to some extent these new members leaving. I would like to get Modita. Do you have anything to add for that?
Yeah, Zaid, yes. Another reason for members to leave their clubs few months after joining, as I see, it's not having an effective orientation. My first orientation experience, I really remember when I was a member of Smedley Toastmasters. I learned about districts and regions. There's something called World Headquarters and the Toastmasters core values. These are the things that we learned during our orientation program. Why we conduct an orientation program, the membership orientation? There are three main aspects. Number one, to give them the knowledge about Toastmasters. And number two, each club has a unique club culture. Now, we are getting these members to this our club culture. It's kind of a family that we have in our club. So we need to tell them this is our family, this is how we do things. It's another orientation that we do. And the third one would be to provide a customized understanding on what they can get from our club. That is, these things are very important in an orientation program. Now, previously I thought the orientation is all about giving details about Toastmasters, recognizing who are the leaders, and also what is the structure of Toastmasters. But it is much more than that, because in orientation process, as I learned it later, it consists 4 steps. Can you believe? Number one, the step one, it's determining the member's need itself. I'll come to that later in detail. And the second one is establishing the social contract. Now, you may wonder, what is this social contract? It's very simple. Can you remember club mission? What we read just at the beginning of our club meetings. We say we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in great self-confidence and personal growth. So that itself, the social contract we built with our new members. So that's the second point. And the third point would be explaining how Toastmasters work. Now see, that segment is just the third step. We teach them about Toastmasters, a club meeting process, officers, and what these executive officers will do, members' responsibilities, benefits, involvement, opportunities, education programs, pathways, everything we will teach them. This is how Toastmasters work. And the number 4, the step 4, with the important, taking actions. So we have gone through step 1, 2, 3, and final would be taking actions. Now you see the importance of having a very effective orientation program to retain these members with the correct input. That is the idea of having a very effective orientation. When you are doing effective orientation, we need to take care of few things. We need to keep our mind these points as governing dynamics, I would say. Creating a favorable climate for them to absorb this knowledge, and also developing a personal rapport with them. This is very important. And being very attentive and showing genuine interest that we are there to help them. Positive and enthusiastic environment creation, and also finally, we need to be very knowledgeable on what we preach. And we need to know about Toastmasters, and we need to show that we are capable of getting them into our zone and teaching, training them, and being family members, we can grow and grow together. So effective orientations definitely will retain members, and it will help to go a long way with new members to have very sustainable growth in Toastmasters clubs. So I would like to request Nisal, if you have anything to add regarding this orientation.
Yes. So I think one of the key things what we have to say here is, now we directly said orientations. Now some of you must be wondering, what orientation are we talking about? We are talking about club to conduct their own membership orientations for the new members. Now, because district will have the membership orientations like throughout the year, but it will be a limited number of sessions there will be. So we recommend that each club, when they have new members, have your own club new member orientation program. It doesn't need to take a longer time. Just take 1 hour, maybe after your meeting. Just get the new members. If it's in a physical meeting, just get them to the room, just sit there, just explain the history of Toastmasters. What's the area, what's the division, what's the district, like all these basic things. Share these things with them. And share the history of the club, what the club has achieved, what's the club culture. Because when a new member joins, they need to understand what kind of a club is this, because they join the club for the wow factor they see from the outside when they go to the meeting, but they don't know what's the club history, what's the club has achieved. So it's better to share those things. Then you build that rapport with them as well. And mainly when you conduct the orientation, share the basics of pathways. Tell them, go and pick a path. How they can do it. If you can show it by logging into the pathways, and if you can just show the basics, that will add more value, and that will build the enthusiasm and the curiosity for the new member to start on pathways immediately as well, because they know this is the educational program which we are going to follow. And most importantly, in this new member orientation, share basics of mentoring. Because most of the time we talk Toastmasters mentoring is a golden thing we have in Toastmasters, but sometimes these new members doesn't know where to start this mentoring, whether my mentor will come and contact me and then I start my mentoring, or should I go and talk to my mentor? How is the process? Like all those things, there are questions. So it's always better to give a basic idea about the mentoring program. So take 1 or 2 hours. You can do it in a Zoom meeting as well now, since we are very familiar with the Zoom platform. You can do take a Zoom meeting and do all these few sessions as well, or else after a physical meeting, talk about the history of TI, history of the club, basics of pathways, and basics about the mentoring program. And if you do that, you will see that members will stay with the club for a longest time, because then they get that foundation, then they get the basic idea what Toastmasters is all about and what they can achieve beyond the club, and the basics of our program as well. So I think that is the simple thing what I want to add to the orientation point.
Thank you very much, DTM State. DTM Modita and DTM Nisar. Now, Oprah Winfrey says that a mentor is someone who will allow you to see the hope that is hidden within yourself. And I think all these three panelists really helped us to understand how important a mentor is in our Toastmaster curriculum, and also how important and how much of an impact a new member orientation can really create. So thank you very much. But now expanding on this, now we're talking about new members all this time. Now coming back to members who have been in the club for some time, let's discuss a little on what we see as the most common reasons for high membership attrition. So let me invite DTM Modita to first express his views in this regard. DTM Modita, what do you see as the common reasons for high membership attrition within our club?
Right, thank you, Harshini. One major reason to have high membership attrition among clubs is simply, in simple terms, boring club meetings. There are a lot of members here. I think right now we have more than 120, 25, but if you can just reflect on your club meetings, you can see that this is right or wrong. Sometimes we have boring club meetings. The technical terms, a monotonous process flow. What is this? Not having variety of speeches. We are having same category speech which falls into same category over and over again, and same set of people playing roles, and people playing multiple roles many times in several meetings. Not being able to add that color, the zing, the flavor to the meeting. Members don't feel that they are getting the value for their monetary and the time investment, which is very important for them. So money and time. Because of that, people gradually leave from it. I have seen this. Even sometimes I have felt this experience. But it's very important to address these issues. Boring club meetings, monotonous process flow, not adding that zing to this meeting would be one major reason that will have high membership attrition among clubs. Zaid and Nisal, if you have anything to add to that.
Thank you, DTM Modita. I would like to add another thing. With boring club meetings, it narrows down to what I believe is to a fact that members feel that they are not getting personal growth or even professional growth as a member. And lack of opportunities also can be another reason for existing members. Now, let me clarify this. One reason I believe is that evaluations play a major role in improvement. Now, most of the clubs, what I have seen, that happens sometimes at our home clubs too, we like to encourage people and cheer them up so that we believe they can grow. In this good intention, sometimes we tend to whitewash the speaker, thinking that a new member will get hurt if we give like improvement points. Maybe later we can give improvement points, and that member stops growing from that point onwards. Sometimes our evaluations, again, maybe with a good intention, can be harsh. For members' improvement, we might give harsh evaluations. Now, art of evaluation is a totally different session, but you need to know as a Toastmaster how to tackle this. This is part of the training. Proper evaluations, I would believe, will help the members to grow. And when they get those proper evaluations, that will be one reason for them to stay in the club, because they can see them growing. With evaluations, I would like to come back to another point for this question. The lack of speaking opportunities. Sometimes it's the same set of speakers, like Modita clearly mentioned, taking up same set of role players, same set of speakers that take up roles or speaking opportunities. Maybe because towards the end of the year, we are rushing to achieve awards or maybe club goals. Because of that, the same speakers get the opportunity. Here is where you need to plan, dear EXCO. Have a proper plan to give more and more opportunities to cater all the members. And by that, if someone wants a speaking opportunity, please do give them that opportunity. Don't delay giving them the opportunity thinking that he will stay for 1 month or 2 months to take that speaking opportunity. As a leader, you need to manage that aspect. Now, if you give those speaking opportunities, I think you will also help an existing member to stay in the club. And my final point I would like to address under this topic, most of the time we remember our club members when the contest season comes. Are you going to do a speech? You need to get involved in evaluation contest. All of you are good evaluators. All of you are good speakers only during the contest time. But have you noticed the contest role players most of the time are EXCO people? They take it because they're scared maybe to delegate because they want to get a good job done. No, my advice or my opinion is that you need to give those opportunities in club level, at least to new members or members who are willing to take up those roles. They may do mistakes, they may get it wrong. That's absolutely all right, because that's how we learn. So give them more opportunities, even leadership opportunities. Give it to existing members. EXCO, don't try to take everything into your shoulder and do it. Try to delegate among the entire club various roles, various opportunities, so that you can equally give opportunities to every single member. Plus, you as an EXCO member won't get pressurized at the end of the day. Sometimes we take it as a burden on top of our head, thinking, oh my God, I'm an EXCO member. I am the VP education. My God, it's like the end of my life. No, delegate it. Have a subcommittee, give them opportunities so that you can at least have a peaceful mindset throughout the year. So try to give proper evaluations, try to give speaking opportunities for anyone who is willing to do a speech, give them leadership opportunities, contest role players, or even district opportunities that comes in. EXCO, don't take the burden onto yourselves, try to delegate and distribute among the members. Anything to add, Nisal?
Yes, one of the common things what I hear is sometimes most of our members say that they can't manage their time. Now let me tell the common statement which most of us hear. I am going to start my master's program, so because of that I'm going to take a break from Toastmasters. Haven't we all heard that statement from at least one of our members? Now the question which I have is, why can't we manage time? Now, why are we coming to that situation for a member? Now, in every club, most of the time we will have 2 meetings per month. That means 4 hours per 1 month. But if you check at our lifestyles, how many times, how many hours are we spending in front of a TV, in front of our laptops, surfing through Facebook, social media, doing unwanted things? Now we are spending a lot of time. If you are saying no, if you're saying you are spending your entire day very productive, I think that's a big lie. So just like that, people who are saying that they want to take a break from Toastmasters just because they are doing a degree program or they are doing something else, they can't focus. I think first thing what you need to tell when you hear this from a member is ask them, how much time are you spending unproductively? And ask them, can't you spend 4 hours from your entire month for your self development? I'm sure they can spend 4 hours. And on top of it, make sure when a member says this, and when you get him to stay back with the club saying, okay, if they say, okay, they will stay back, they can manage it. Make sure as executive committee member that you don't push them too much to go beyond the club level activities. Now, what I'm saying is, now if they are busy, if they are busy with their studies and they're coming for meetings, and if they're doing speeches and roles, that's a big win for you. So don't push these individuals who says that they are busy to go for area contest, division contest. Don't push them until they complete that, and until they say, okay, now I am totally free, I can engage with all the programs. Just tell them, come for the Toastmaster meeting, spend that 4 hours each month and learn and grow and build your self development. Now, if you do that, I'm sure next time the person who says I'm going to leave Toastmasters because I'm going to do a degree program, I'm sure you can keep that person back with your club and they will continue to participate in your meeting. It's just a matter of showing them how much time they are spending throughout the month in an unproductive way, and telling them just to engage with the club meetings. If you can do that and if you can convince that, I'm sure that will stop one of the main membership leaking points in your clubs, because most of the time this is the common statement what most of us hear: because I have a degree program to do, I'm leaving Toastmasters, so I'm taking a break. But tell these things and show them the big picture. I'm sure they will stay back with the club. And with that, I would like to add share another thing as well. I think most of you who have joined this program might have questions. If you have questions, please put your questions down in the Q&A chat box. We will take it up throughout the program, and towards the end, we are planning to go through all the questions and give our answers as well. And with that, Zaid, anything more you want to add for this question?
Thank you, DTM Nisal. One more thing I would like to add, apart from the opportunities I was speaking earlier, is the fact that some members have a lack of knowledge in the whole Toastmasters experience as well. If you ask me why I joined Toastmasters, I have a reason. If I ask all 125 participants here, why did you join Toastmasters? Probably we will get about 60 to 70 different reasons. Now, as the EXCO, have you ever thought that have you ever checked for the reason why these members joined Toastmasters at the first place? And did you all educate your members whether their expectation can be fulfilled through this program? Now, if you have done that, you can also, this is why the member survey also comes into place, which we will discuss further throughout during this program. When you do that member survey, you will identify the needs of the members and then take one by one and then try to give them what they want instead of trying to plan what we can offer them as a package. Now, in this way, if you can customize your solution, I believe that most of the time we can retain most of your members in the club. Most of us think Toastmasters is a program where you improve your communication. Some of us think it's about leadership. Some of us think communication and leadership. Some of us think this is an English class. But if you identify at the beginning itself, is this for communication? Is this for leadership? Is this an English class? Or none of these? It's a total different program. As an EXCO, especially VP membership, your duty is to educate your members of the whole Toastmasters experience. This is what you can get. For example, take Pathways. How many of our members know what Pathways can offer us? How many of our members know how many paths are there? In these paths, how many levels to complete? As you go gradually up in each level, what are the opportunities you get? All this needs to be taken into consideration. And if you can educate your member about all these opportunities, all these skills that they can develop throughout, I also believe that it will help to keep the membership or retain membership in a successful way. Anything to add, Nisal, further?
Yes, now I'm going to pick another common question which most of our members say. They complain about the membership fee, $45. They complain. Now, we can't change the fee. That's the fee which is given by the TI. So we have to go ahead with that. But what are the solutions what we can give for our members? Now, $45 for 6 months is our membership renewal. But can we get this in a monthly basis? We can do that. We can get this in a monthly basis, and the club can collect in a monthly basis or in a quarterly basis, and then they can pay it when the renewal time comes. Now I know some clubs, they do this effectively. They collect membership fee monthly. And when you give this option to give the member monthly, the member will not feel it too much. Try it and see, because when you go and ask $45 at once, it's a big amount. But if you are giving an option for the member to pay a small amount each month, that impact is very, very low for the member. And I know some clubs are doing this actively, and because of that, some clubs are retaining a lot of members, because membership fee is not a big impact for members because they pay every month. Now, most importantly, keep in mind, if you're collecting monthly the membership fee, make sure that your club treasurer has proper records, because that is very important. As the executive committee, you need to have proper records when you collected the money, and it is recommended that you give a receipt every month when you collect this money as well. So the member also knows, and you also have a track when this collection happens. Now, this is one of the options which you can try for the membership fee, because one of the common questions which everyone has is membership fee is a big impact when it comes to member retention. But how many of us have tried giving the option of paying the member monthly and later the club pays to TI at once when come to renewals? Some clubs are doing it very very in an effective way, and that is helping them. So this is another way of helping the member to stay back with the club, and it will help the club to retain more members as well. So that is the point which I wanted to add for this main question what we were talking about.
Fantastic. I think I have nothing more to say in terms of that question, because I think you covered every single dimension that could possibly be questioned in terms of high membership attrition and how we can contribute to lower this. Now, Toastmasters is definitely multifaceted. But on the other hand, it's also the club's responsibility to find out what the members need in order to help their club to improve the club experience, and finally, like we spoke about so many, to retain the club members. Now, let me throw this question at DTM Modita. Now, what are the remedial actions that you suggest that clubs can take in order to resolve the issues that we mentioned earlier? Now, of course, we spoke about the club experience and about how we can improve it by ensuring that they know everything about the club, that they're they feel comfortable, right? But moving on from them, what can we do to take our club experience to the next level in order to ensure that we retain members? DTM Mod, I would really like to know what you think about, what your opinion on this is.
Yes, Hashini, thank you for that question. Yes, one word you have been listening throughout this discussion as of now is the members' interest survey. Right? Repeatedly, you heard this word. Ask this question from yourself. How many of you are using this survey in club planning activities, especially executive committee? And how many of you have at least heard of this form? Right? What is membership interest survey? It is the item number 403 in Toastmasters International, and it's freely available to download. It's an editable PDF. You can go through it and have a wonderful idea how it will help to retain members and to assess what are the needs of the new members. There's one remedial action that we can have at the beginning to retain members, to identify their expectations. What members actually, membership interest survey does is actually, that form can be used to help plan club programs around needs and interest, as well as help members communicate their objectives and goals. Now, it's the club's job to find out what members need and help them to see that the Toastmasters experience offers that. In order to do that, these forms help you a lot. Let me go through the sample areas that will help. First, it has identified the goals, long-term and short-term. Short-term, first 2-3 months, what are their goals to achieve in Toastmasters after joining? The next one, long-term. At the end of the year, what would you like to achieve? The second part, analysis of interest in 20 areas: personal and vocational interest, we have 6 there. Club involvement, 6 criteria. Outside the club, 5 areas. Within the district, 3 areas. And the fourth one is club quality characteristics. It is about rating members' satisfaction on 15 characteristics with regard to club quality. And the final one will be overall experience. We have 4 segments. So you see the power of this tool. With this, we can just have an idea of what member wants to achieve in Toastmaster, why he or she joined Toastmasters, how we can help them to achieve his goals, how we can help them to achieve excellence in personal and professional capacities, assessing their requirement, analyzing them properly, and taking action. Especially then we can assign mentors and the mentor program to them based on these requirements. And my recommendation would be not just do this at the beginning of maybe just joining the club repeatedly, maybe once in 3 months time. If you can do this, it will be really helpful for members or even the club executive committee to assess their realignment of these member needs. For example, if I've been promoted, I want to pursue some excellence in managerial skills, because my direction will be changed. Some person might want to achieve excellence in public speaking to become another champion speaker. Some person wants to be another good leader. So there are different things. It keeps changing according to the time. So we need to assess them periodically and to have a proper plan. If we do this, definitely we can reduce the attrition of members, and also we can retain them because they feel they are being valued by the club leadership, and also their requirements have been addressed and they have been guided. They have the feeling that I've been guided towards achieving my goals, and they are taking care of my requirements in Toastmasters. That is a beautiful thing in Toastmasters, that if we can do this survey correctly and take action accordingly, definitely we can go a long way. Because that professional growth, change of fields, pursuing new dimensions will help them to achieve excellence. That one form can have a huge change in your club if you do it correctly. That's one remedial action that I can recommend, Hashini. I think, Zaid, if you have anything to add with regard to the mentoring, because it directly comes, next step would be the mentoring. So if you can add a few tips about mentoring, that would be helpful.
Yes. Thank you, Ditya Modita. Once you do the membership interest survey and find out what the members need, next, plan your mentor-mentee program. Now, there are so many ways of doing this, but let me tell you what one of my home clubs, Expolanka Toastmasters Club, did. I was so happy to see that they initiated this program within the club, which was not there for some time, and now from this year onwards, they have initiated it. So what they did was, the very first thing, they wanted to find out whether the mentees and the mentors were happy with each other, whoever you have assigned right now. So as a first step, they spoke with the mentees, for example, and checked whether the mentors are really helpful and whether they are benefiting from it. Found out what are the pros and what are the cons, what are the advantages and disadvantages of it. Then they did the same thing for mentors as well. They checked whether the mentor is happy with their mentee, or whether the mentor is not happy with the mentee, whether there are any clashes. Because this is a very, again, in an emotional relationship at the end of the day. You need to be open to your mentor, and the mentor has to be open to you. And if you don't have a good relationship, it's very difficult to mentor and mentor each other. Here, one thing we need to remember is that even the mentee sometimes can teach certain things, share experience where the mentor also can learn. So it's a two-way process. Coming back again, once you have identified whether the mentor and mentees are happy at the first place, then what they did was they brought both of them to a common platform to have a discussion with the help of the VP Education. What are the plans the mentee is having for this year through the member interest survey? And what are the plans the mentor has to support that? So everyone is in a common platform. With that, we created an action plan where this is what the member needs to achieve within this year, and this is how we are going to achieve. Then it was given to the mentor and the mentee both to follow, and they're expecting to do a follow-up once in every 3 months where they are, rather than waiting for the entire year. This is something practical. I believe that your club also can follow. As I initially mentioned, gather some senior members in the club who can mentor each other and create a mentor pool. And as soon as a member joins, first, I would say let the member choose a mentor before assigning. If he has a preferred person, let them go to that person and start to get mentored. If they don't have, as VP Education, help them to find their mentor and see whether this is working. If the mentor and mentee doesn't work together, it's okay, because sometimes our ideas won't match each other. Try to help them to find another mentor so that they stay in Toastmasters at the end of the day, stay inside the club without leaving. Now, don't get the mentor to be the reason for a mentee to leave. So that's also another thing. Here, I need to mention very clearly, it is not exactly the responsibility 100% that the mentor has, that the mentee has to progress. As I said, it's a two-way thing. Mentor will benefit from the mentee will benefit from the mentor. So both of them have to put their effort in going on this journey. Now, just because you are a mentee and you have a mentor, you can't send your speech just 1 hour before your club meeting to the mentor, expecting him or her to help you out, and then later complain, my mentors are not helping me. And in other way, if you are a mentor and your mentee has sent you 1 week prior your speech, don't wait until the last minute or 1 hour before the club meeting to give the improvements. So have a schedule, manage your time, and have this mentor-mentee relationship going on. I believe this is one of the strongest pillars your club can have. If you have proper mentors and to mentor the mentees, I believe your club can go on a long journey. If you don't have enough resources, reach out to the area, reach out to the division, reach out to the district, and I'm sure people will definitely help you. As Toastmasters, we believe the learning environment, the safe environment is set by the club, and the mentors will guide you, and it is up to the mentees to get the guidance and improve yourself. Anything to add to
Yes.
DTM, Nisar?
Yeah, so let me talk a little bit more about the time management aspects. So some of you have asked like practical scenarios and whatnot. So yes, now most of the time people say that they can't manage their time. Basically, what I would say is there's a famous quote goes as time management is life management. Now this goes in two ways. One is managing your personal time. One is managing the meeting time. Now let me start off with the personal time. Now let's ask ourselves, how many of us are maintaining a proper calendar? Well, I'm maintaining, at least right now, I do. Like I am maintaining. I hope all of you also doing it. So when a person comes and says, I don't have time, just ask them this thing. Tell them to maintain a proper calendar and tell them to have a weekly to-do list. Now they can like have this weekly to-do list. They can start it on Sunday and they can have their weekly to-do list, and then daily when they start the day, tell them to have a daily to-do list as well. Now these are basic simple things. Whenever you read about time management, these are the basic things what we learn about. But most of the time what our members, which they don't do, is they don't practically apply these things. They know this is the thing what they need to do, but they always say, I can't manage my time, but they don't do something. So whenever a member comes and complains that I can't manage my time, I don't have 4 hours to give for Toastmasters, tell them, are you doing this? Are you maintaining a calendar? Are you doing a weekly to-do list? Are you doing a daily to-do list? If they are doing it, that will help them. I'm sure about that. Now that is about the personal time management. Now let me jump on to the other side, the meeting time management. Now let's ask ourselves, how many of our clubs start meetings on time? If I take an example, like for a weekday evening club, we are saying we are starting the meeting at 6 p.m. Fellowship starts at 5:30. By 6 p.m., we can't start the meeting. People are not there. because of that you don't start. It goes until 6:30, 6:45. Now that means your meeting ending time is getting delayed. It can be 8:30, 8:45. Now when they are going back to their homes, some of them have difficulties. Now this is a practical scenario which I have gone through with a lot of members. Because of that, a lot of members say that they can't come for meetings because they get late to go home after meetings. So ask yourselves, are you going to start meetings on time? Because if you are saying we are going to start at 6 p.m., whether you have all the role players or not, you need to find an alternative and you need to start. You need to tell your members, come on time, start the meetings on time, end the meetings on time, and this will be one way of retaining more members. Now, that is mainly about time management. With that, let me jump on to another thing which I want to highlight. Now, every club we have educational sessions, or we say keynote presentations from presenters. Now, if we look back at our clubs, aren't we sometimes repeating the same educational session again and again every year? Aren't we getting the same keynote person to come and do the same keynote in our clubs? If you're not doing that, great. But let's not do that. Let's go beyond like our comfort zone, and let's think different sessions as well. Now, for example, no, most of the time most of the clubs what we do is we do the default set of presentations about evaluation related to international speeches, humorous speaking, table topics. We do all these sessions when it comes to closer to the contest season. But have we done any keynote session or educational presentation about storytelling techniques, about speech scripting, or how to engage with the audience? Like these different type of educational presentations have you done in your club? Because if you do these different type of educational presentations, that will add more value. Why I'm talking about different type of presentations? Now, yes, we need to do the basic set of presentations which we do every year, because when we have new members, they need to learn the basic things. But on top of that, there will be members who have been with the club for the longest time. But if they are getting the same educational presentation every year, they feel that boringness. So make sure that you have more value with that different type of an educational presentation. So always try to cater for every member in the club, new members, experienced members, everyone in the club, by adding variations for your educational presentations. Zaid, you want to add anything more to this question?
Another thing I would like to add is that as correctly DTM Nisal said about how the club meeting, the keynotes function, I would like to add one more thing to this question in terms of the benefits what the Toastmasters get out of this whole program, especially inside a club meeting. Always remember, our program is a self-paced program, whereas the member has the right to choose when he wants to complete his assignments. Don't push them harsh where they get frustrated and try to leave the organization. In this case, I'm not saying you to not to follow up. Follow up from your end is very important. Otherwise, there will be a problem saying no one asked us whether we did speeches or not, so we didn't have an interest to do speeches. Don't let that also happen. Remember, we are dealing with humans at the end of the day. Different people are different types. As members, you will get all types of people, and as leaders in the club, it is your skill to manage, and that's something you will learn at the end of the day, especially the VP education. I would like to draw your attention to one more thing when it comes to self-paced program. Why I say so is, if a member is not ready, don't force them to do speeches just because to achieve an educational goal, maybe for him or maybe for the club. Some people, they rush to finish off their CCs and the CLs earlier, and now pathways level 1, level 2, level 3 as quick as they want. What happens here? When you rush, the first thing that happens is your speech quality goes down. Your speech writing, your speeches are no more interested, and your quality goes down. And that will directly impact you whether you will see it at the beginning or gradually you will notice it. So it's very important that you don't rush. Another thing is that, as I spoke, always be cautious of the evaluations you get. An evaluation will definitely help you to be successful as a speaker, not only as a speaker, even as a leader. Now that we don't have the CL manual as such, every club meeting at the end of the day, if maybe the general evaluator or even your mentor can give some feedback about how you performed your meeting role, it would add some feedback to your progress. Otherwise, the general evaluator has a limited time. He can't comment in detail about how you perform the role. So it's very important that the club creates a platform where the role players get a feedback at the end of the day, just like the prepared speakers. When you take these roles, meeting roles, it's very important that you do justice for the role. Most of the time, people don't turn up after taking a role, and just before 5 minutes, the VP Education or the Toastmaster of the day or the president runs around the club searching for members to do certain roles. In this way, the club quality goes down, the meeting quality goes down, and if there are new members, they will see what is this Toastmasters is all about. Here, people are not performing quality roles, or these people don't know what they are doing, and that can cause a major bad impression about the club. If you take up a meeting role, please do justice for the meeting role. If at the first place, if you commit for a role or a speech, please don't kill your grandma multiple times or get sick right before 5 minutes before the club meeting and avoid it. Remember, you are taking someone else's opportunity. This is one of the worst nightmares a VP Education or the Toastmaster of the day can have, when speakers don't turn up. Please turn up for the meeting if you have committed as a speaker, as an evaluator, or a role player. Imagine how much of a difficult situation you are putting at the other people when you don't turn up. And when you turn up, make sure that you are prepared for the role to do a quality job. There will be so many people in the audience. There will be so many new guests who are going to be members in future, and you need to give a very good example. That is externally, but internally to you, for your improvement, you need to do justice to the role, and you need to improve as a speaker, as a role player. I'll give you one example. When you take the job of the R counter, how many of us think that R counter is a very easy role or an easy job? Think to yourself. But R counter is a very, very important role. Now, if I ask you to give the role description of R counter, what would you probably say? Have you ever seen in your clubs, the R counter stands up and says, ladies and gentlemen, or Toastmasters, as the R counter, my task is to count the R's, and R's, and to count the repetitive words. And have you seen people giving R counter descriptions like that? We should have a separate R counter to count the R's and and R's of the R counter. So if you take up the role, be prepared. If you are the R counter, don't have for that day any R's, and R's, repetitive words, long pauses in your role description as well in your report. This is only one aspect. Like that, the timer, the Toastmaster of the day, the table topics master, the grammarian, even the general evaluator, prepare for your role beforehand. That's where the learning is. If you come last minute, just take the role last minute, or even your name will be in the agenda, but you come to the meeting, look at the agenda, I am the general evaluator. Easy task to evaluate the meeting in general. Don't do that. Do a quality job. In that way, you will see your progress, and you will help others to progress as well. And this will definitely help you to keep the members with you, as well as give a good impression about the club to your new guests to become new members. That's what I would like to add. And with that, is there anything, Modita or Nisal, you like to add?
And one other last thing what I want to add to it, that is like always give feedback. Now we spoke about club meeting rules as well. Now give feedback for the role players as well. Like why I'm saying this is general evaluator will come and give a evaluation report, and he will give set of feedback for the role players. But I recommend if the club members can go and share their feedback. Now if a timer does a great job as a timer, go and appreciate that, share that feedback with that person. If there is something to improve, go and share that, because when club members go and share that with the person who did that role, they get the big picture, what the actually the feedback what they need to consider. Because I'm talking with my personal experience, for every club meeting I go, soon after the meeting I go and talk with the role players and I share my feedback with them. These things, these feedback can be repetitive things coming from the general evaluators report, yes. If that's the case, they do understand that with that feedback what needs to be done, what's the good things they have done, what are the improvements. So this feedback mechanism needs to come into our clubs as well. So let's encourage the culture of giving feedback to everyone, even for meeting roles, because one of the common things what we see is for meeting roles, the feedback what we get right now is bit low. Reason is in part is there are specific meeting roles, but back in the day we had CL which covered most of the roles, but right now we are not giving feedback most of the time. So let's encourage everyone to give feedback for the meeting roles which they play. Yeah, that's the only thing which I wanted to add.
Of course, I think drastic situations always require drastic measures. So thank you all three of you. And I think these experiences shared will really help those who joined our session today. And I think it also answered other questions that were posted by one of our viewers on how we can motivate our members to attend meetings. So now it's almost time to wind up our session, of course. But let's take a few minutes to harp on what really motivates a guest to obtain membership at the end of the day, and how the so-called wow factor in Toastmasters comes to play at the club level. DTM Modita, I think this question is for you.
Thank you, Harshini. Yes, the wow factor is not just for the guests, for the new people who will become new members. It's for the members as well. Now, what is this wow factor? The wow factor is something that makes people feel great and excited. When we just walk through the doors, we feel, wow, this club is for us. For me, I'm so happy, and I feel the wow factor participating in this club meeting. So that is simply the wow factor. So I'll break it down for several segments for your benefit. Then you can just get the idea of how we can create wow factor in several segments. First, guests. Now we have potential new members coming from various backgrounds, and how we can retain these members, new people, to convert them into members and have the retention throughout this process. We have guest packs. In Toastmasters International, you can just go and download. It's not freely available, you have to purchase it. But anyway, there are certain items in the guest pack you can freely download in PDF format. So you can create that docket, or maybe simple document with the club history or a little bit about your club, Toastmasters International details, and create that small guest pack and to present them. They feel the wow there. And the guest book, the Toastmaster magazine, we can give that Toastmaster magazine to them as a token of friendship, to go back home and just read about Toastmasters. Now, these small things go a long way to create that wow factor for the new people to become members. And I have seen even in online meetings, we have breakout sessions for guests. Once I was even a Toastmaster, then I became a guest for another Toastmaster forum in some outside country, and they took me to a separate breakout session, which is dedicated for guests. So that is a nice feeling. We had a nice chat with the executive committee, the president, and some of the regional individuals. And also in our clubs, we have this people going into some other places and to have a chat with the members and encourage them to become members. These are things that we can do in our clubs. The second thing would be the follow-up. It basically the keeping in touch with the members. So just imagine, do we have any idea of how many champion speakers, service leaders would have slipped through our fingers because of not following upon the members or maybe their requirements? So just follow up, have that touch with the members. It is very important. And the other thing is actually appreciating and recognizing members. We would like to get the appreciation from others, and that's the human nature. We can recognize the Toastmaster achievements, leadership, communication, other valuable contributions made to the Toastmasters and to the area, maybe division. And not only that, the professional and personal achievements, milestones. I've seen some clubs, they celebrate when they achieve something in professional capacity, maybe academic thing, even personal capacities. When they get married, the flyers they publish the flyer in FB page, which is really good. So we build this family culture. It's all about creating the wow factor through creating the family culture within Toastmasters. So again, I have seen two categories of people that who can create wow factor. I would say wow creators. There are people, they can create this wow factor within the clubs, clever people. And also we have people magnets. Wherever they go, people follow. And you identify those wow creators and people magnets. And you can allocate some jobs to them. Maybe you can give them the opportunity of welcoming members and also welcoming guests, engage with members. That will create a very nice bond within the club members, and also the process will be enhanced a lot. And innovation, you can bring that innovation factor to the club to create the wow factor. I'll give you an example from my own experience. In my home club, Horona Toastmasters, they conduct this special segment where giving a member the opportunity of sharing his knowledge on one particular topic, not necessarily a Toastmaster thing. Can be a personal experience that enrich his values, maybe something from your professional corporate world, just 5 to 6 minutes, just like a topic, another Toastmaster speech. That segment, each member will feel he or she is important and given the opportunity of that kind of an engagement. That member will not leave, because each and every member will feel that they have been welcomed and also they have been given the opportunity. The final thing in terms of the execution of Toastmasters meeting, how we can create the wow factor, is having quality and colorful meeting conduct. Now, there are a lot of things that we can do with regard to Toastmaster meetings. A different room layout, outdoor meeting, joint meeting, theme meeting, speech marathons. These are some tricks that we can do to have that vividness in our club meetings. But apart from that, we have so many others. A grab bag meeting, reverse meeting, costume party meeting, time machine, progressive story, television newscast, and also debate. Have you gone through this Toastmaster debate criteria? There's a debate handbook, item 104, which is available in Toastmasters. You have to purchase, but that is a very special segment in Toastmasters. Once I had opportunity of participating in Toastmaster meeting and delivering a speech evaluation and also doing an educational segment, and that club conducted a Toastmaster debate. I would say it was a treat to watch. I was able to witness that. And that was the highlight of the day. And people were filled with that wow factor because of the debate. And there were a few guests, and immediately they just like converted to become members. I saw it. So you can create these wow factors within so many avenues. You have resources in Toastmasters. You can use your imagination, your innovation. And with these simple things, we can create the wow factor and retain members. So it will not be a monotonous execution of club roles, speeches. It will be a quality and colorful execution of speech, and also with segments where members will feel that I want to be in this club forever. This is my wow club. Because ultimately, as our founder father said, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley said, we learn best in moments of enjoyment. So that if we can live by that, definitely we won't be having any issues with regard to membership attrition, and also we can retain our members to go in a very fruitful way.
Thank you, DTM Modita. I think that answer definitely deserves a big wow. So I think it's almost close we almost reached the end of our session for today. Before we wind up, DTM Nisa, would you like to add your thoughts on anything?
We hope that all this information which was shared with you were valuable for you, for your club, and for your executive committee. And and we all are sure that you can't implement all this overnight. It might take some time, but try and implement these things. We are sure that you can stop your leakage of losing members in your club.
Thank you, DTM Nisa. So fortunately or unfortunately, like you mentioned, it's now time for us to bid you adieu. So a very big thank you out to all our panelists for sharing all their knowledge and experience with us. And of course, for everybody who logged in, thank you very much for joining us and for throwing those questions at us. I'm sure that you got comprehensive answers. And like Nisa said, please feel free to share your feedback with us. And so until we meet again, always remember, until you change your thinking, you will always keep recycling what you already know. So think differently, throw away all the bad experiences, save all the lessons that you learned, and do your part in stopping the leak. So hope you have a pleasant evening, everyone.